It is the Riot Podcast.
Who's that?
Hey, it's just me.
Hudson's back.
Do I sound a little more Southern? That's not Southern at all, was it?
Not at all.
That was like almost British.
And I really like how people in the South are like, to you and to us, Tennessee is like the South. And you're like, no, you can go more Southern.
You can go more South, but you can definitely tell you can hear the accent, though. You can hear the twang. And I was thinking as I was driving down, obviously it's a way too big project. But as I did go down, like even just outside of Cincinnati in Kentucky, you're in Kentucky, so some people might call that the South, but it's just outside of Cincinnati, a big city, so you wouldn't, but there was a little bit of an accent when I stopped somewhere just outside of there in Kentucky, and then as you go further down, I wanted to see, like, you should get somebody from each town along the highway to record the same phrases.
To see how different it changes.
Really transitions
That's
to.
a great
this
idea.
Is kind of the South, and this is like full on. Like, how y'all doing? Like where does it switch?
You need to find the line in the United States where when you order tea, like when we order tea, it's just regular tea. But I have heard when you order tea in the South, they give you sweet tea first. Yep. So you need to find the line where restaurants start doing that, because then you're in the South when they don't ask.
Yeah,
I think they just give it to you.
We have a tendency to think that it's just along state lines, where as soon as you get into really Kentucky, I would consider the South. But I think it's a lot harder to define than that.
Sure.
Because there is the bigger cities in Kentucky and near Cincinnati that probably aren't as Southern as if you get down to Paducah or whatever. Where did you
Paducah,
work?
Yeah. Then
so
you get
all
over to
about
Paducah.
The South then.
Oh yeah, it was like I feel like there's levels to like the southernness too. Like you can get like kind of southern in Kentucky, and then there's like more as you go down. Yeah. It just becomes like more and more southern. But where I was pretty southern. The accents
I'm just thinking
were thick.
Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I'm way low down there.
Yeah, no. Tennessee definitely has like the mountain South, which is a little different, like the moonshine South.
Yeah. Well, in the podcast, you'll get a lot of info and a lot of fun details about how Hudson's vacation went.
Mm-hmm. And you got to follow us on the socials, the RadioU socials as well, because eventually we're going to post a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, if you go to RadioU Official, you can follow us on Instagram and RadioU on Facebook.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like, I think we could almost do the whole podcast intro about Hudson's trip because we talked about it so much today on the show.
Well,
we also did a food fight as well. We did the Mtn Dew Dark Berry Bash. So if you're interested in hitting up Applebee's, you can have a good time with that there.
Or the RadioU break room, I'm taking the leftover soda right on in there.
Somebody better drink it quick. It is getting flat and fast.
What are you talking about? It's not flat at all.
Yeah, it's not flat. You would never even know.
You wouldn't notice.
We also talked about I guess it's a trend that's happening right now that is extremely dangerous. We talked about the milk crate challenge. So if you know what that is, you know what that looks like.
Doctors just want to come in and ruin all the fun.
That's
any challenge, and sometimes it's justifiable, where you see a challenge and it's the Tide Pod challenge. You're like, yeah, I can see why that's unsafe. Then there's the milk crate challenge, which is, come on, it's harmless fun. Maybe somebody will break their wrist, but generally it should be fine.
Well, I think they don't want to see people get injured or hurt, but sometimes that's just play. That's just
part
fun.
of the fun.
Yeah, it's their choice, you know? Like, if you want to go up there and do it, my question is, like, where are they getting all these, like, milk crates from?
I know.
Like, where are they getting those from?
We'll save that for tomorrow's show while Isaiah goes out.
Yeah, to buy a bunch of milk crates.
Get as many milk crates as he possibly can.
Surprise!
Yeah, exactly. We also talked about a person who had a very, very affectionate attraction to an animal in a zoo.
I don't know about that. All right. Just you guys hear it, and then you just let us know your thoughts. And I know sometimes you're like, well, we're just friends.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know.
Yeah, that one, when I was listening to that over there, I was just like, man, there's just some weird people.
Sometimes
someone else is like, man, I can't find anyone.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, well, that doesn't sound so bad, actually.
I can't even find friends or a special someone.
I can't find human friends. Forget about making friends with animals.
At the zoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, enjoy the podcast today. Glad Hudson's back. Glad Isaiah's here. And glad we had the Mtn Dew, so you can hear it all.
Yeah, so go ahead, check us out on the socials, where you'll not only find eventually all of the Gatlinburg pictures, you'll find the food fight from today with the Dark Berry Bash Mtn Dew, and tomorrow we're planning on, I brought back a bunch of moon pies from the trip.
We're doing an
after show. And so we'll be
show.
tasting a redneck six-pack, they call it.
Can't wait.
Redneck
it's coming up.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Everything you love about the riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
But I want to give like a rundown of what happened. So we left on Thursday, right? We come back yesterday on Monday. And over the course of the trip, we spent the majority of a day at Dollywood.
Yeah.
We did one day where we kind of did downtown. Well, I guess it was really 2 days where we did downtown Gatlinburg. And
in Tennessee.
Yes, in Tennessee, where we did Anarchista, which is a thing where you take a ski lift up the mountain, and then there's a little village at the top of the mountain, basically.
Do you have to fight your way down, or
you also take a ski lift down?
There we go. Oh, okay.
But actually, you know what? It's not as easy as you think getting down or getting up because of how many people are there.
How was it crowded?
We did that on a Saturday, yeah. So that was very busy. We also did the Ripley's Aquarium and the Believe It or Not for the Ripley stuff, which I've never done a Believe It or Not before, and we also went up another ski lift to go to what is called the Skylift Park.
Yeah.
And on that one, that's, I believe, relatively new, where they have a big bridge that hangs over between two mountains there. And so you walk across the bridge and you get a great view of town.
Was it scary?
Actually, no, not really. After, so going on the two different things where you have to take ski lifts up, I haven't been on a ski lift in a really long time. The first ski lift, that was very nerve-wracking. You
just
really have
it's
to.
just the bar.
Yeah, you just have to settle into it, and it's like, and then
Is
the
that
bar.
even a gondola?
Yeah, the bar you just lift up and down yourself.
Sure.
So how much protection is it really offering you? If you started to lean forward, you just fall right out. But
for a while there, that trending movie was on TikTok everywhere, where the person got left, like they got left overnight on the ski lift, and the lady's fingers break off in the cold. That's all I kept thinking about when you were posting ski lift pictures.
Yeah,
It's
so-
like, don't get left on there.
No, it was definitely freaky at first. But then once I kind of got, I guess, I don't know, you call it your sea legs or whatever. Once you get onto one of those and you ride it for a little bit, then you settle in. And so after the ski lift, if you're doing the Gatlinburg sky lift, that one is so straight up and down, it'll make your head spin. But I had already, and then obviously being up so high and being on that bridge and stuff, the bridge has a glass bottom in the middle.
Fine by then.
But yeah, by that time, it's just like, this is nothing because you've already done it. So you have to get comfortable with it. And still, people that are afraid of heights probably would freak the heck out.
Yeah.
But I got comfortable with it. So,
I'm glad that went well.
Yeah, so that was Anarchista and the Skylift Park, both definitely well worth the trip up the mountain.
It's a smaller town, so like if you go to Gatlinburg, you're like, well, I guess I have to go up to do something.
Yeah, for some of it, for sure. And but I will say, for what did we spend? 3 full days there, and there was we did everything we really felt we needed to do, but you could definitely make more of a trip out of it.
Well, later you have to tell me about Dollywood, because I always think Dollywood is not as exciting.
Really?
Well, I don't know why. It could be the Dolly Parton thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't like Dolly Parton, huh?
I do. I don't think that would be like an exciting theme park. More like a older person theme park. So I was always curious, like, how nice and how exciting was it?
Well, I'll give you. Why don't I give you a Dollywood rundown
Okay.
coming up next? I don't want every single break to be Gatlinburg, but we'll talk Dollywood next. I'll give you a full report.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Says, I was on the Sky Bridge in Gatlinburg 3 weeks before you.
Ooh, you beat me to it.
I don't think he really said it with that tone, but I was adding that. Not a heights fan, but I did fine with the glass bottom bridge part, just like you did.
Well, yeah, the glass bottom bridge, it's really cool, but it's not quite as high up, maybe. Or I don't know. It's just not quite as intimidating as I think you might expect. I definitely, if you're a person who's afraid of heights, I think the gondola ride up, or the ski lift ride up, I should say, is a lot more intimidating than standing on the bridge. If you can make the ride up, you're going to be fine on the bridge.
Well, yeah, but then you have to go down. Like,
Yeah,
there's no
actually,
way.
going down might be the worst part
You're
of all
stuck.
for somebody who's a little worried.
But you went to Dollywood?
Yes, I did a whole day at Dollywood.
Wow.
And Dollywood, it was a lot of fun. I didn't know exactly what to expect either.
Yeah.
But I was like, you can't. That was the main portion of the trip. It was like, well, you have to you can't go to that area and not do Dollywood, right? Except Nikki obviously has done that.
I've never gone there, and I've been to Gatlinburg a few times, but I always thought it was maybe not, because, if you go to like Cedar Point and stuff, that seems more exciting. But I didn't know if Dollywood can be exciting.
Well, Dollywood has very much, like, it has a more Disney World type feel where they've made their own little world.
Yeah.
And it's all very themed. And but I will say that it, like Disney World, kind of has something for the entire family. And I mean really the entire family, because there is a handful of really decent roller coasters that I did enjoy. There's a lot of rides for kids, and then like some of the in-between rides and whatever. And then, but the kind of thing that sets Dollywood, I would say, apart more is that it has so many of these shows. And even those, granted, that is not really what we participated as much in, all of the different stage shows.
Interesting.
But we popped in one or two. There was one, because my wife was like, well, we can't come here and not go to one of these shows, right? So we sit in on one of them. I believe the show is called Forever Country.
Oh, that's what I think it is.
It was spanning the like most of the country music landscape from like the 80s to the early 2000s.
Was it at least inside and air conditioning?
No, it was not.
No?
It was not. But so I was sitting in there, and this is the music I grew up with. This is what my mom listened to all the time in the car. So I'm singing along, and my wife is like, why did I decide to come in here? So we did wind up walking out because she couldn't take it anymore.
It's like when you go to Disney and you are stuck in, like, what's the Hall of Presidents thing or
that's
something?
Right.
Like, either it's because it's the air conditioning, or you're doing it for your mom.
Yeah, or you just need a nap.
Yeah, you just need a break from
in the middle of the day.
From the people in the park.
Yeah, but that is...
But the roller coasters were fun?
The roller coasters were definitely good. My favorite one was, they have this little themed area that's like themed about the 50s. I think they call it Jukebox Junction or something like that. And the roller coaster, it's called the Lightning Rod. And it is a wooden roller coaster.
It's a little real.
It was a nice sunny day, so I didn't feel too bad.
And you don't like to call things in. Just to be a little afraid of that.
Yeah. So we are up in the mountains, so you never know. So we get on the lightning rod, and it's a wooden roller coaster, but I didn't realize what to expect, because you see this long, super long hill up, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a long climb up. But it shoots you out. It's one of those roller coasters that just fires you away.
Yeah.
So it fires you up this hill, and that you're expecting to have a slow, long drag up. And then you're on this wooden roller coaster going, like one of the fastest wooden roller coasters I feel like I've been on. And it doesn't do full loops, but it does turns that nearly take you upside down, I think. So that was the best ride at the park.
Well, one last question.
Yes.
How long were the lines?
Oh, the lines were almost non-existent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
That was the other thing I was concerned about, was on a Friday. Is Dollywood falling on hard times? I mean, there was definitely people there, but none of the rides had a wait. The only thing we waited for was the River Rapid, the little boat thing, and because it was a kind of hot day. But other than that, we walked onto everything.
This is The Riot. RadioU.
I saw yesterday, as I was, my wife was driving, so I was just able to spend some time on my phone on the drive.
Way to have a good relationship there.
Yeah.
Come on.
I kept seeing people talking about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So supposedly it leaked over the weekend or yesterday morning or something like that, when it wasn't supposed to. And now, once it leaked, now it's just out everywhere. And so I wanted to know if you guys have seen it.
We did.
Yes.
Do you think first that it leaked, or was it leaked?
I think it was like a planned leak, because there's no way Disney would let that happen and Marvel would let that happen. I just don't see that happening.
There's an employee that wouldn't be an employee any longer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one who leaked it.
Instead, there's an intern now who has full-time status.
Yeah, well done.
But it's supposed to come out in about 4 months, and they say that, typically they don't show this much for a trailer so far ahead, but yeah, it's out.
So what did you guys think of it, Isaiah?
I think it looks incredible.
Really?
I'm actually super excited, and I usually don't get that excited for the trailers, but this looks so good. I think it looks amazing.
Do you like all the other Spider-Man movies?
I like the other Spider-Man movies, but they aren't like favorites of mine. Spider-Man is my favorite character, and their movies have just been like all right up to this point. Like they're good movies, but they aren't like my favorite Marvel movies. But also this one kind of like warms my heart because Doctor Strange is in it, and he's my favorite, so it gets me a little extra pumped up, you know?
Nikki
I
was just yep.
I was like, I think I only like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Even though after watching the trailer, it felt like they were trying to teach us an important life lesson.
Yes.
So I wonder how heavy that is in it.
Which
is be happy who you are, just in case you're wondering.
Well, isn't that almost every movie, though?
Well, really in this one.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that it sounds good, and I'm going to continue to not watch it.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's your plan.
Yes, that is my plan.
So you haven't seen the trailer yet?
No, I have not seen the trailer.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, are you not watching it because you don't want to be spoiled, or you
Yes,
just
exactly
don't care
right.
about it?
Oh, it looks incredible, Hudson.
I know that it does,
good.
and I didn't need a trailer to tell me that.
Oh, my gosh. See, I wasn't even that excited for this movie. Like, I was excited for it, but now I'm just so much more excited. I can't wait.
That's the difference because I know the two previous like recent Spider-Man movies, they've both been really good.
Yeah.
Especially, what was the first one?
The Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yes. So that one is one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Yes.
So I'm already on board. I think they've done a great job with it. And Spider-Man was the first superhero movie. Like that was what I got into back when Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
So even though I don't know if all of those movies are really that great, but Spider-Man, like, it has a special place in my heart because that was the first superhero movie.
Even if they're not good, they just have warm feels for you.
Right. And so I think maybe a lot of people are experiencing that because I know, even though I don't want the actual what goes on in the movie and how they introduce all the different characters, I don't want that to be spoiled, but I know that a lot of those characters are showing up in this one. So I feel like it's already hitting all the boxes for me. And I cannot wait to check it out.
And he doesn't even need to watch the
He
trailer.
doesn't even need the trailer.
Since I'm so excited, I don't need the trailer to tell me to be excited.
Well,
so I don't want it to.
I'm sitting here watching it on my monitor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're like
That's
3
fine.
feet apart from each other.
That's
And Nikki's,
fine.
we can just hear everything. And Hudson's like, well, I haven't seen it yet, but I did overhear some of it.
I'm not full on. I guess I could have just put my headphones on. But I'm not full on to like, I'm not going crazy with it, but I'm just going to specifically not watch it.
If not,
specifically
I felt
try
bad.
to not read too much about what's coming. I mean, there's only so much you can avoid, especially doing what we do, but I don't need it to be spoiled and I don't need it to excite me because just the idea of Spider-Man, a new Spider-Man movie and all the stuff they're adding in, that's enough for me.
2 is better than 1. Unless we're talking about The Riot. The Riot, RadioU.
And one of the things I wanted to do on my trip was hit up a bunch of different food places.
Yeah.
And well, obviously, but like some specific ones. And one of them was Bojangles because I've never been to Bojangles. And Bojangles was, let me see. The fried chicken was pretty good.
Yeah.
The biscuit was one of the best biscuits you're going to get at a fast food place. But I had really, really high hopes for Bojangles. I thought it was going to be Popeye's level. And it was not.
Well, I think you went in with too high of expectations.
It was better than KFC, not as good as Popeyes.
Well, at least you tried it. I know that's been on your bucket list.
Yes, that was high on my list.
Your chicken bucket list?
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. But they had the, which you can also get at KFC, so it's not completely exclusive, but the Mountain Dew Southern Shock.
That one. Well, there used to be, was it the Lightning one? Mm-hmm. But what's the Southern Shock one?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Sweet Lightning, isn't it? Or something like that. So actually, it might have been a different one, and I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I haven't heard the other one.
Yeah, Southern Shock is definitely what it was called. So I guess
sounds like sweet tea.
I missed out on getting a exclusive Mountain Dew flavor on my trip. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, this is Southern Shock is a Mountain Dew flavor exclusively available. Soda fountain machines only at Bojangles restaurant. It's like a tropical punch one.
Oh, man, I wish I would have known.
Yeah, did you not try it?
No, I didn't try it because I didn't know. I thought it was the one that was at KFC, which I do not like.
No, that's the Sweet Lightning.
Yeah.
That's
well,
different.
now I know. Now I know, but I didn't then.
Get back in the car. Get down there.
Well, if you're giving me an excuse to take, I'll do it for work.
Isaiah, get in here.
Yeah.
Hudson, get out
You
there.
already went to Applebee's. Now go all the way down to a Bojangles and get us a Southern Shock.
So that seems like it is a tropical fruit punch flavor that is only at Bojangles.
So let me tell you my Bojangles. Well, it's kind of a Bojangles story and kind of a McDonald's story. So for the Dollywood day, we got breakfast beforehand, got like a big breakfast. And then, mind you, at Dollywood, they had like hardly any food places open.
Is it because of COVID?
I wonder if it was either because
lack of people.
They were understaffed or if it was just because it wasn't as busy of a day. Maybe on a Saturday, they might have more people in there, but working the stands. But there wasn't a lot of stands open. You could still get food, but it was either like kind of the more fancier restaurants, which we had a big breakfast. So it's like we don't need to do that. Or it was popcorn. It's just like I'm not going to pay $12 for a popcorn at Dollywood. So we went most of the day at Dollywood without eating a whole lot. And then afterwards, we just wanted to eat quickly. We left at about 6, and it's just like we want to eat something quick. And Bojangles was kind of nearby.
You heard the jingle of the jangles?
It's like, let's just get to Bojangles. So we get there, we get the food, whatever. We go through the drive-thru because, God bless them, all these fast food restaurants down there, for some reason, they don't have their lobbies open.
Sure.
You have to go through the drive-thru. And I don't know, again, I don't know if that's because they're understaffed or because a lot of them did actually say because of COVID-19. So I don't know if they're just blaming it on that or because they really are understaffed. Either way, can't go into Bojangles, which is what we intended to do. So we go through the drive-thru, eat in the Bojangles parking lot. We had gotten our drinks. Yeah. But the drinks from Bojangles weren't so big. So we're like, well, there was a McDonald's right next door. The drinks are cheaper. And we'll just go over there and get a big, giant Cokes from McDonald's.
Yeah.
But we had gone through Bojangles. The one thing was we had went on the river rapids at Dollywood. So it was all soaking wet. I had taken my shoes off. My wife was driving. We get into the McDonald's, the drive-thru, and then it's like, well, we need to have a space for these cups. So I needed to get out and throw out the garbage.
Yeah.
So I jump out of the car in mid drive-thru while my wife is paying. I'm in only my socks, like no shoes on, and I'm carrying all this Bojangles garbage, and I carry it across the parking lot really quickly over to the dumpster.
Yeah.
And I've never had this happen to me before. The cashier at McDonald's starts guffawing. She thinks that is the funniest. It was kind of embarrassing that like this McDonald's woman is so. I've entertained her so much by wearing just socks. And going and throwing out all this garbage.
Well, maybe
in the
she thought,
parking lot.
Sometimes you're embarrassed and you're like, I don't want McDonald's to see that I just ate at Bojangles.
Yes, that's exactly right. And then it was like, but I also I have no other space for this in my car for all these drinks.
Well,
so,
you went all
and
in.
then to add insult to injury, the McDonald's cups are like, save $10 at Dollywood when we paid full price. So
that's full circle right there.
Right? So that was the one time where I had a little bit of a self-conscious moment.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
We have Isaiah who has joined us in the studio for this food fight. Isaiah, tell us what you have found.
What did you bring us?
We've got some Mountain Dew here. It's the Dark Berry Bash, and it smells aggressive.
Okay.
I got it from Applebee's.
It's dark.
Did you just happen
Applebee's?
Did you just happen to be at Applebee's, or was this a trip you?
This was a trip that I planned. I didn't just. It isn't like an everyday routine for me to just roll into Applebee's. Yeah. But yes, I went there. Got two large Mountain Dew blackberry bashes, and we'll see how they taste.
They say it's like a blue raspberry, which I don't think is a real thing. I think that's an artificial flavor.
Yeah.
And blackberry kind of mixed together. So this is what Mountain Dew's doing to us now. They're having exclusive flavors at actual restaurants. So Hudson was talking about on his vacation, Bojangles had one, KFC has had one, a few other locations. It's not many, but that's what they're doing. So Dark Berry Bash is only at Applebee's.
All right, let's give it a shot here.
And I told everybody, it looks like when you're painting with blue paint and you dip your brush back into the water and you try to change out to a new color. That's exactly what this looks like.
Yes, but it does
smells good.
It
does smell. It smells good, but just so
sugary.
Yeah. Smells like a headache right now.
It
Kinda
reminds
like some sort of medicine.
Yeah.
I think it reminds me a lot of, without tasting it, it smells like Mountain Dew Pitch Black used to smell.
Does it?
And that was Pitch Black had a good run in there. So let's see.
It could actually be the leftovers from Pitch Black. So this is Mountain Dew Dark Berry Bash from Applebee's.
It's good.
Wait, gets you right in the back, doesn't it?
It doesn't taste all that different from Pitch Black, does it?
It doesn't. It feels like a flavor you've had before
Yeah.
of Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, are you just relabeling?
Yeah, they're just redoing, like, they're using the same stuff and they're just mixing it just a little bit.
It really does. They hope you weren't going to notice.
I wonder how different it tastes, because Isaiah did get this from Applebee's. It was a day ago.
Yeah.
But he did get it without ice, so it wouldn't get watered down. But I do wonder if you get it fresh and it's still got the full carbonation, and maybe if it does have the ice, if that adds a little bit to it,
I'll tell
a
you
little
what,
bit of a
Hudson,
bite, because that might help.
Why don't you drink it and blow bubbles into it, and then tell me if it feels like
Tell me
it's
if it
any
feels different. Maybe in the Applebee's cup, you know. You got to
maybe.
be in Applebee's.
We've got the cups from Applebee's still over there.
Yeah, I
We have
know.
a cup cam set up.
We have the cups
cup
over
cam.
there. We decided that way. If anybody else wants to try the dark berry bash flavor, you're not drinking after us.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like the Pitch Black one. It feels
Yeah,
like you've already
it's
had this before, but if it's different, we'll take their word for it.
It's almost a exact copy. It really tastes like. It doesn't quite have like, again, this might be because it's a day old, but it doesn't quite have like the sting that the Pitch Black did. But it's still good though. It's still good.
It tastes good.
Yeah, and then there's the headache too, so it's
Yeah.
right on time.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
it's a
Right
little
as you
early.
expected.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I think I'll go get some dark berry bash water, and
Yeah.
we're gonna have that later to rinse that all down.
Yeah.
But thank you, Isaiah, for getting that.
Yeah.
for us to
Of
try.
course. It was good. It was so good. But I don't know if it's quite worth making an extra trip to Applebee's just for this.
If you're there, maybe.
Yeah.
If not, if you still have old Pitch Black, which if you still find those around.
What if they have the endless apps?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can just go get the endless apps, but maybe Applebee's doesn't want me saying that, because don't remind people that we're not doing that right
Well, if
now.
you want Applebee's in general, you can go, but I wouldn't go for this.
Okay,
Like, if you want
gotcha.
for the apps, then go for that, and then also you could get this, but I wouldn't go for this.
Dude, Applebee's like, we have food too, you know?
Yeah. You can always just come for our food that we have every day.
And not just the appetizers, but our full food.
Yeah.
Wait, are we sure though that this dark berry bash isn't just made for one of their special like margarita madness
No,
drinks?
Oh, yeah.
It's not
It's
that-
on tap, like it's on their fountain machine.
Yeah.
It is there.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Yeah, so let's talk about, we haven't talked about in a while, my trip to Gatlinburg.
Really? Did you go to Gatlinburg?
I went to Gatlinburg.
I thought
Did you know?
did. I remember Isaiah coming in for some reason the last couple of days.
Do I have an accent? Have I picked up a little bit of a southern twang?
No, you're good, I think.
No, yeah, I think sometimes it's not just, I just naturally have a little bit of some words that I think I say a little southern, but hopefully I haven't.
Shouldn't you say it New England, though?
No, I'm not from New England.
Well, kind of.
Maryland is, I grew up in Maryland. Maryland is beneath the southern Mason-Dixon line.
Oh,
So it's
sure.
technically southern in some ways, but
Yeah,
it's not really. The people there don't really have a southern accent. But again, I think I have a few words that I definitely go into that. Anyways, so one of the things that was big on the trip to Tennessee, Nikki, how many times have you been to Gatlinburg?
Maybe three.
Three?
Yeah, 3-4 times.
How many bears did you see when you went?
Never in Gatlinburg.
Never?
Never in Pigeon Forge.
Not a single one.
Never in Tennessee.
You weren't in the right place.
Where were you at? Why were bears just? I saw all your pictures. Like, there's a bear. There's a bear.
And I saw more bears than I took pictures of.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I saw a bear almost every day.
No.
I did.
That's my thing.
So one of the big positives of the trip was where we decided to stay. This hotel was called the Brookside Resort, and we kind of booked it blind. Like, it had good reviews, but we didn't know that it was good. It's just like, well, it seems like it's a good price, and it seems like it'll be close. So in the Brookside Resort, all of their hotel rooms have a little balcony that looks out over a little creek behind the hotel. And so as soon as we pulled in, get into our room, I walk out onto the back patio. My wife and I both walk out. We're looking at the view, and there's a bear climbing a sign. This is our first thing actually in Gatlinburg. We see a bear climbing a sign.
I'm the one that like bears.
Yep.
I'm the one. And why are you the one seeing all the bears?
Well, that one was so quick that I didn't get a picture of it, but I did text Nikki and I was like, you need to know.
It's happened already.
I've been here like an hour. I already saw a bear.
It must be just bear season.
And then you think, well, that's going to be the only one, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the odds? So the next day, we're going up the Anakista ski lift, and people coming down as we are just getting on. The people are very talkative on the ski lift.
Sure.
So the people coming down on the other side of the ski lift are like, keep your eyes open. There's a bear over on your right.
Stop it.
Sure enough.
Another bear.
There's the next bear sighting. He's running through a parking lot, and that's when I first got some pictures of him.
Yeah.
And then on the way back down, it was hard to get a glimpse, but there was bear cubs.
Oh,
little baby bears.
Baby bears.
So didn't get a picture of those, but another bear sighting. But then the big moment was, because those were like more from a distance. And again, the baby bear was, it was just for a moment.
Yeah.
And it was too hard to get a picture, but it was cute.
What else did you see?
So then on Saturday morning, I had made a little habit of sitting out on the patio every morning, drinking a coffee, just hanging out, whatever, enjoying the nature, slowing down. So on Saturday morning, I'm out there sitting on the porch, and I wasn't even paying attention. So I look up, and there's a bear right in the creek, just hanging out.
I just can't.
Looking for food, foraging, you could say.
He just wanted to show off and say hi.
The thing is, again, I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how long he was hanging out there. But I was on the second floor, so I was close enough to touch him or anything or be in danger. But
he was right
when
there.
I saw him, I was so shocked that I did jump up out of the chair, kind of. And then I see him run around the other side of the building. So I run. My wife wasn't up yet. I run through the room to the front door, and I'm like, bear, bear, bear. So she wakes up, and we then we're watching this bear go through the dumpsters of the pizza place next door.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you get a picture of that?
Oh, yeah. Well, not. Yeah, it wasn't as good because it was kind of far away, but I did post the picture of the bear by the creek.
Man,
if you're following the stories.
I need a vacation to the bear stuff. And then when I'd go, they'd be like, well, it's shocking to see the low bear rates.
Yeah, right.
We've never seen such little bear activity.
Yeah. Well, you have to get, I guess, I would say out of the touristy area, but then like Anakista is right in the middle of town.
Oh, no, dude, I'm going to get a room on the creek. I'm going to just
you
camp out
get
right
that
there.
same hotel. I bet you that it seems that bear is a regular.
That's where
from what I
they
gather.
like to stay.
Store at room temperature? Now that they can do. The Riot RadioU.
I know I was talking about how I love bears, but I don't love bears like this lady loves this thing. Like, this is next level.
It feels like a cautionary tale is what it feels like.
What's the line from the Christmas thing? The ghost of future?
The ghost of Christmas future.
Yeah.
Are these the things that may be or things that must be type thing?
Making sure I never go this far.
Yeah. So we have a woman here in Belgium. She had been going to the Antwerp Zoo. She's been going every week for about 4 years. And finally now they decided that she needs to be banned.
She's not allowed to go back anymore.
She's not allowed to go back because she has established a relationship with a 38-year-old chimpanzee named Cheetah.
Boy, it's weird when you say it, isn't it?
Yeah, right?
It is weird.
They're calling it an affair with a chimpanzee.
In other parts, they're saying like friendship, but they say that she says, I love that animal and he loves me. Obviously, she can't get close to the chimpanzee, but they have a relationship from inside the thing to like where, you going into the zoo can stand.
Yep. And she, so what they do is she'll go up to the glass and they'll wave at each other and blow kisses to each other, which all seems
so weird.
It seems innocent enough, though.
No, it doesn't.
If you just went into a zoo and the chimpanzee blew a kiss to you, and it wasn't like the first, and it was just you randomly went in there.
Well, that would be sweet.
Cute, wouldn't it? It would be so cute.
She must have been kind of like aggressive with it because they noticed her.
Right.
I mean, she's going every week.
When you're doing it
for
4 years in a row, it all adds up. And so the problem is she had built up such a relationship with this chimpanzee that it was becoming detrimental to his relationships with the other chimpanzees. I don't know if they were getting jealous, or if he was or if the chimpanzee was just so focused on this one woman that he wouldn't take the time to focus on his other chimpanzee friendships.
His relationships there.
Right, but either way, there was something where this woman was really interfering with Cheetah's relationships with the other chimpanzees, and so that's why they said, you, 80 Timmerman, the woman, you can't come into the Antwerp Zoo anymore. You got to stay away from this chimpanzee.
So basically, the cheetah was always surrounded by visitors, so then the other monkeys would ignore him, and then he would sit out eventually outside of the visiting hours and wouldn't kind of interact. So that's why they said that she cannot, and they cannot be friends anymore. Just that, only friends.
I think, it's weird that this woman, it's weird that she was so into the chimpanzee, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no matter what you are getting out of the relationship with a chimpanzee, or, no matter how cute it is the first time a chimpanzee blows a kiss to you, you're going to keep going back?
Well, I don't know. There's just, I've also seen that show where the person's like, I love this bridge.
Yeah, right.
I'm marrying this car. That is a slippery slope and a hole you don't want to fall down into.
It's just something you just kind of want to know, but maybe you don't. What else is going on in her life?
Don't want to know.
Where she's getting her companionship from a chimpanzee through a glass. She's a step away from, I don't know if this is a step worse than having a relationship with somebody you've never met that's in prison. It's kind of along those lines, right?
Yeah,
you can only see them through the glass.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Nikki, I'm sure you've seen the milk crate challenge trend on Instagram or TikTok, I guess.
I have on TikTok.
And apparently, it feels like it just popped up. When I was on vacation, it wasn't intentional, but I didn't wind up spending really any time on social media, browsing. So I haven't seen this, but apparently it's dangerous.
Well, I think anything. No. Every time you're like, oh, this is fun, someone rolls around and be like, hey, here's how we can ruin it or how you can ruin it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the other challenges online, the danger is pretty self-evident. I think with this one, you can still tell that it could be mildly dangerous or potentially very dangerous, but at the same time, it's not the same level, really, is it?
Basically, it's just taking milk carts, which are like the plastic milk cart containers.
Right. They're just little plastic boxes.
You take them and you are supposed to build like a pyramid sort of thing with it. And so you build these designs and you can walk up them.
Right.
But the problem is it's not as sturdy as you think it is.
Right.
And people are getting injured by falling down their creations.
Yeah. So now some doctors are coming out and basically warning people, stop doing the milk crate challenge. They're here to ruin all of our fun.
This one, the guy who falls on this one that I'm watching, though, does look like it hurts.
I mean, they are pretty brutal looking, but I don't know. I just think that's you think that's the norm? People always, I guess that's the fun of it, that you fall in an entertaining way. But do you think it's really the norm for people to have to go to the emergency room? Because that's what they're saying. It's like with the COVID-19 pandemic, hospitals are getting overrun. They're delaying elective surgeries.
No.
So
I think when the spray your hair down challenge thing, that sort of thing, like use the glue on your hair.
Yeah, right.
Like that probably sent more people to the emergency room than this. This probably hurts a lot, but I don't think you would break anything.
I mean, they have said they've got reports of people tearing their ACL, meniscus, dislocating their shoulder, broken wrists. So there are some injuries that people have experienced, and I'm sure like any activity that's a possibility, any activity like this.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably very few and far between, and mostly it's just kind of comical wipeouts.
That's perfect. That's a good way to describe
it. The doctors do not need to get involved right here and try to ruin everybody's fun.
Well, if you want, first off, where are you getting all the milk carts
That's what I was going to say, too. The amount of people going to the emergency room from this are going to be limited because nobody has all of this anyways.
It feels like if you have that one friend who uses whatever to like furnish their place, I feel like you could get a couple from them.
Yeah.
Because I know some people who put like vinyl in them or
use
it as a table. But outside of it, I see people and they have like 25, 30 of them. Wherever you're getting these. I can't find enough to actually do the challenge, so it's okay.
We need to do the soda bottle challenge where you stack a bunch of the little, those cases that hold all the soda bottles in them, the little flats. We'll stack a bunch of those up. We could probably get access to those.
That feels a bit more expensive, but I see what you're saying with that.
Yeah, but it feels a little more obtainable.
So if you're like, I want to stack milk crate cartons and do the challenge, I don't know where else you're supposed to find these.
Yeah, the dangerous part is trying to obtain the milk crates.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I wanted to go through and share some of the top highlights because I've kind of laid out some of the stuff, but some of the top highlights of the trip, specifically, a lot of them were related to food.
Yeah, when Hudson went to Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge for his vacation.
Yes, I had a great breakfast at one of the Flapjacks locations.
Yeah.
Which that is one of the, I guess, Tennessee chains. There was several Flapjacks around. I saw a place called Flapjacks that did breakfast, and they give you pancakes with every order. And so I ordered this skillet thing it was a biscuit, and it was chicken, and it was sausage gravy, and it was eggs and hash browns.
And pancakes.
And then pancakes were on the side. Yeah. And so I should not have survived. After that, I was out walking around doing my day, and after I finished all of it, and I shouldn't have. Because it's not healthy for me.
Well, it's a vacation, though.
It was a vacation. And that was, for most of the vacation, we wound up doing 2 larger meals instead of trying to get 3 in and whatever. So, but that was really good.
Well, a lot of people recommended that place.
And in Tennessee, man, people they love their pancakes. There were so many pancake restaurants.
Did you try the ice cream place, the Marble?
I didn't get to that.
The creamery?
Well, that one was in Pigeon Forge, and I did not spend a lot of time actually in Pigeon Forge. I drove by it, and I said, man, on the way out of town, should have done that.
Did you go to the donut fryer?
I did go to the donut fryer.
And
that was really good.
That was good?
That was quite delicious.
I'm not going to lie, Isaiah and I thought maybe you'd bring back a dozen donuts, but that's fine.
Well, I didn't know how well those would travel from when I got them. They did.
Did you travel fine?
I
traveled. They would travel fine.
Well, I got something I thought was a little more shelf stable. So I went in Pigeon Forge on the way out of town. I went to the Moon Pie General Store.
Hey!
They have a whole store. It's weird.
Moon pies?
It's about a quarter of the store maybe is moon pie and other southern that kind of stuff, like southern sodas and stuff like that. And then another quarter of the store is kind of like old-fashioned, old-timey gifts and toys and stuff like that. And then there's the Bible store part and a whole book warehouse. So it was a weird combo.
That's exactly what Pigeon Forge is, there, all round up into one.
But at the Moon Pie General Store, they had all these varieties. They had, I think, 7 different flavors of moon pies.
Yeah.
So I brought back a smorgasbord of a few different flavors.
Ooh, so we can do that tomorrow?
With moon pies, and then you get 4 moon pies and 2 Royal Crown RC Colas.
Oh my gosh.
They call that a redneck 6-pack, so I thought we should do that.
You got that too.
We should try all of the. We got 4 different flavors and then the RC Cola, which we know what it tastes like. But
I've never had RC Cola.
Are you serious?
I've never had it.
All right, well tomorrow's the day.
I'm gonna have a what do you say? A redneck 6-pack.
Redneck 6-pack.
Oh my gosh! So tomorrow we're gonna do an after show later, and we'll do the. So is a moon pie a whoopie pie, or is it like
I don't know what.
Choco pie?
I don't know.
We'll have to look. I don't even know if I've had a moon pie before.
Well, we're going to find out all about it. But what they also had, what I mentioned was they had moon pie coffee.
Ooh.
Actually moon pie branded. And I was going to get that. I was like, this is dead on what I should get. It was like $18 and the bag was... It might have lasted us maybe 2 pots.
Are you saying we're not worth it?
I was saying
that's vacation coffee.
Out of principle, I am not going to give them that much money for that small of amount of coffee.
Honestly, Hudson, just pour the RC Cola into the coffee pot.
There we go.
We'll just have that.
That'll work. And then the other really good thing food-wise was Cookout. I finally got to stop at Cookout, and that was possibly the best fast food experience I've had.
Did you get the milkshake?
I did get a peanut butter fudge milkshake. That was great. And the Cajun seasoning on their burger was dynamite. So it's really good that Cookout isn't near us
Are you
because
doing
that would be really bad for me.
Are you going to do an after vacation diet where like we can't eat like that anymore?
I probably should. But you know what? You got Labor Day coming up, and I've got another trip in September. So
and then there's Halloween.
Why even try to diet in between those couple weeks? You know.
And then with Thanksgiving and Christmas, maybe you should just wait till January.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I should probably just keep putting it off.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.